As a kid, I wasn't sure if I believed in psychics or mediums. I knew that my parents believed in them and seemed to enjoy going to psychics almost like a hobby, like fishing or collecting samurai swords. I remember one psychic in particular who lived near our house, and her office was also in her home. And as a 7 or 8-year-old, I couldn't really wrap my mind around the concept. I knew the basic idea, but it filled me with a lot of curiosity mixed with a little fear. I remember sitting in the back of my parents' wood-paneled minivan, and we drive by our house going into town. I remember sitting in the back seat thinking, does she know we're driving by right now? Does she know we're going to the Golden Corral for dinner? Does she know I'm having the tater tots? Now, on one of these trips past the psychic's house, I asked my mom, well, does she ever tell you anything bad? And my mom said, no, not unless you want her to. But for me, that's where the fear came in. I just couldn't imagine someone knowing that something was bad was going to happen to me or someone that I loved. I just had these nightmares of sitting in her office and her explaining I died in some real embarrassing way. Brahma bullhorn wound to the anus. That's what gets you. I'm sorry. Now, years had passed since I had that conversation with my mother, and I hadn't given much thoughts to psychics or mediums until I was 17 and my cousin passed away unexpectedly due to an undiagnosed medical condition. His name was Robert, but he went by Bob, and he was 35 at the time he passed. And growing up, his parents lived a few minutes from mine, and every holiday was spent together. And to me, he was larger than life. He was a successful lawyer, he had a house and a car, and he was a member at a really nice country club with a really nice golf course. But even as a kid, he felt like my friend. When I talked to him, I felt like the only one in the room. And even, when I was 7 years old, running around, asking asinine 7-year-old scenarios like, who would win in one-on-one basketball between He-Man and Batman? He'd even consider this and give me an answer. He said, well, He-Man's got those strong, muscular legs, good low center of gravity. Probably great for rebounding and boxing out. Batman's got that utility belt. I think it's pretty clunky for the court. But that's just how he was. And of course, he introduced me to great movies. He taught me how to play sports. And when I got a little older, I was able to ask him questions that I didn't feel comfortable asking my parents, like, what happens when you drink a lot of beer? Or, how do you take a woman's bra off effectively? And I'm still working on that one. But, of course he wasn't perfect. He had terrible eyesight. And ever since, as long as I can remember, he wore thick glasses or had to wear really strong prescription contacts. Even so, when we were playing golf, he preferred to use these bright yellow fluorescent golf balls. And at his serious country club, these were frowned upon. So he really only pulled out the yellow ones as opposed to the traditional ones, at very rare occasions, maybe it was me or my brother, and a very select group of people. And about a year after he passed away, I was on a trip with my family in Florida, and my mom mentioned that she was going to see a medium that was conveniently not too far from our hotel. Now, this medium was nationally renowned, and this was the time where I was very curious because I knew that mediums were the people that could talk to people that had passed away. But even then, I decided not to go because I was still afraid that she would say something bad was going to happen to me, or even worse, something bad was happening to Bob wherever he was. So I stayed home and waited in anticipation, and I wanted to believe that she was real so badly. You know, I wanted to know, did he know that I made the varsity basketball team? Did he ever come by our house? Just some kind of sign. Just knowing that he was okay. And as soon as my mom arrived back at the hotel, I couldn't wait. I asked her, did you talk to him? Did she talk to Bob? And she said, well, you know, she sensed a male presence. He's doing okay. I think she got the first letter of his name. And as more general details came out, I felt true disappointment. And I thought to myself, well, of course she can't talk to him. He's gone. He's gone. But then my mom said, well, she said this one thing, and I didn't really understand it. Didn't mean anything to me, but she said, he keeps showing me bright yellow golf balls. And chills flowed throughout my whole body. I said, it's real. She's real. It was him. There's no way that this random woman in Florida would know such a mundane fact that I never told my mom. And this stays with me today because I know that he's around, reminding me that if I let fear cloud my vision, I'm going to miss out on those little details that are so important in life.